When you think of someone slipping, tripping, or falling, an older person usually comes to mind. Chances are you probably know someone who has lost his or her balance and has experienced a serious fall. But the truth is, such accidents don't just happen to the elderly. In the workplace, slipping, tripping, and falling is one of the leading causes of injuries. According to OSHA, slip, trip, and fall accidents are among the leading causes of serious work-related injuries and deaths. OSHA estimates, on average, 200,000 plus serious injuries and hundreds of fatalities occur annually among workers due to slips, trips, and falls. Slip, trip, and fall hazards are present at most work sites, and many workers are exposed to these hazards on a daily basis. A fall hazard is anything which could cause you to lose your balance or lose bodily support and result in a fall. Any walking or working surface can be a potential fall hazard. Slip, trip, and fall incidents occur frequently because slip, trip, and fall hazards are everywhere. A box left in a hallway can be an unseen trip hazard, especially in darker areas. Wet concrete or other wet surfaces can become slippery. Reaching just a little bit more from a ladder can spell disaster. Most slip, trip, and fall incidents can be prevented simply by following safety rules and safe work procedures. In this video, we will examine types of falls, causes, prevention, ladders, scaffolds, PPE, walking on wet surfaces, falling, fall protection, protection from falling objects, training. There are two types of falls that can occur: same level falls and elevated falls. This program will mainly address same-level falls. Workers at elevations require specialized protection and training. Therefore, falls from elevations will only be discussed briefly in this training program. Be aware, the construction industry has a different elevation standard than general industry. Same-level falls occur more frequently and are primarily caused by slipping or tripping. A same-level fall usually results in less severe injuries than falls from elevations and are mostly back-related injuries, broken bones, sprains, or strains. Although elevated falls occur less frequently, they typically result in more severe injuries and in many cases can lead to a fatality. Elevated falls can occur from ladders, stairs, buildings, docks, vehicles, and other structures. There are many hazards which cause slips, trips, and falls. Environmental and human factors can increase the risks of slips, trips, and falls. Environmental factors can include such things as poor lighting, bulky PPE, excessive noise levels, poor housekeeping, excessive temperatures, and improper signage. Human factors can include age, physical condition, illness, substance use or abuse, distracted working, and a negative work attitude. A slip occurs when you lose your footing due to walking surface conditions that limit the amount of traction between your shoes and the surface. Slips mainly happen due to wet or slippery surfaces. Surfaces can become wet and/or slippery from rain, snow, ice, oils, or spills. Loose flooring such as broken tiles, a worn mat, loose rugs, and the surface material itself such as a ceramic tile or smooth concrete can also cause one to slip. The slip hazard increases when inappropriate shoes or improper footwear is worn. Another slip hazard can be caused by dry products on the walking surface. Things such as dust, powders, and granules can cause slippery surfaces. It is important to sweep up dry products on any walking surface. A trip occurs when you strike an object with your foot or lower leg, which throws you off balance, causing you to fall. Trips can also occur by stepping down to a lower surface and losing your balance unexpectedly. There are many possible causes of trips, including inadequate lighting or moving from lit areas to dark areas, or from dark to well-lit areas. Other trip hazards include pathways obstructed with tools, equipment, supplies, boxes, trash, cables, and/or cords. Walking surface conditions which might involve uneven surfaces, potholes, temporary walkways, and cracks can also lead to tripping. And finally, carrying large and/or heavy objects that obstruct a person's view can cause one to become off balance and trip. A fall can occur when you are thrown off balance by going from a standing or erect position suddenly and unexpectedly to a downward movement, or you drop from one level to a lower level. Slipping and tripping usually results in a fall. Other types of falls include falls from ladders and scaffolds. Misuse or inappropriate actions can be very dangerous when using ladders and scaffolds and usually lead to injury accidents. Getting in and out of equipment, trucks, and other vehicles can present a fall hazard. Traction is generally low when stepping onto or off of metal steps, tailgates, and other parts of such equipment. Riding on the outside of equipment and vehicles is also dangerous unless there is appropriate seating. Moving up or down stairs can be hazardous, especially while carrying an object. The potential for a fall accident is also greater when the stairs are wet, or when clutter is left on the steps, or you do not use the handrail for support. Preventing slips, trips, and falls is an ongoing task. Every day you should look around and inspect your work environment for hazards or potential hazards. Be aware that the potential for hazards can change frequently, even throughout the workday. Employers and employees must be aware of their surroundings and take the necessary steps to minimize or eliminate hazards daily. It is important to regularly inspect walking and working surfaces and to keep them maintained to ensure a safe work condition. Hazardous conditions on walking, working surfaces must be corrected or repaired before employees can use the surface again. If the correction or repair cannot be made immediately, the hazard must be guarded to prevent employees from using the walking, working surface until the hazard is corrected or repaired. When any correction or repair involves the structural integrity of the surface, a qualified person must perform or supervise the correction or repair. Housekeeping is one of the most important aspects of preventing hazards. A messy work area leads to unnecessary hazards. Good housekeeping is the most basic step in preventing slip, trip, and fall accidents. Clean spills immediately. Delaying a cleanup potentially exposes many more people to the hazard. Use wet floor signs or barricade the area to identify wet areas. Never allow anyone to walk on a wet floor if possible. Remove debris and scrap frequently from work areas and place in designated locations. Keep walkways clear of materials, debris, and clutter. Always keep floors swept. Whenever possible, run cords, cables, and hoses overhead. Secure and cover cords, cables, and hoses that cross walkways. Lighting is important to maintain a safe workplace. Keep work areas well lit. OSHA has minimum standards for illumination that apply. If you see a burned out bulb, replace it or report it to your supervisor immediately so it can be replaced. Maintain appropriate lighting through the use of portable light stands if necessary. Do not allow the stands to become a tripping hazard. Move cautiously in minimally lit areas and when moving from well-lit to darker areas. Let your eyes adjust for a moment before moving. Wear dark glasses when working in direct sunlight if practical. Stairways are always a tripping hazard. It is important to keep them free of materials and debris. Always walk slowly and use handrails when going up or down, taking one step at a time. Never carry a large item that obstructs your view of the stairs. Keep outside steps free of ice and snow. Uneven walking and working conditions should be marked with warning tape or signs. Create smooth transitions between different floor levels with the use of ramps or wedges. Temporary floor covers should be taped together, and all floor openings and holes should be covered or guarded to prevent people from falling or stepping into the area. Ladders are another hazard that we take for granted. Never use a chair, box, table, or other object not specifically made for standing on to reach elevated levels. Always use properly designed ladders that comply with OSHA requirements. The ladder should also be appropriate for the job at hand and meet the weight requirements for the work being performed. Place ladders at a 4:1 ratio from the vertical support. For every 4 feet of working length, the ladder base should be 1 foot out from the top support. Always tie off a ladder and let the rungs extend at least 3 feet above the landing surface. Never use a metal ladder on or around electrical elements. Always use a wood or fiberglass ladder that has been designed for use near electricity. Some wood ladders are reinforced with metal. These ladders are not to be used around electricity. Never use a wet ladder. Employees should not carry any object or load which might cause them to lose balance and fall while climbing up or down a ladder. Ladders must be inspected before initial use in each work shift, and more frequently as necessary, to identify any visible defects which could cause injury. Ladders with structural or other defects must immediately be removed from service and tagged dangerous, do not use, until repaired in accordance with OSHA regulations. If the ladder cannot be properly repaired, it should be destroyed and discarded. OSHA requires fixed ladders, which extend over 24 feet, to be equipped with ladder safety or personal fall arrest systems, and employers to provide fall protection for employees. Maintain a 3-point contact with the ladder whenever climbing, descending, or working from a ladder. 1 hand and 2 feet, or 2 hands and 1 foot. Scaffolding is used frequently to access areas and as a working platform. Never take scaffolding for granted. Construct all scaffolds according to the manufacturer's instructions. Scaffolds are to be erected only by trained individuals known as erectors. If you don't understand something, ask your supervisor. Install guardrail systems along all open sides and ends of platforms as required by OSHA. A competent person must inspect scaffolds on a daily basis and tag them appropriately. Use appropriate fall protection for scaffolds more than 10 feet above a lower level. Use caution when working with tools and building materials on the limited space of a scaffold. Safe access to a scaffold platform must be established when scaffold platforms are more than 2 feet above or below a point of access. Direct access is accessible when the scaffold is not more than 14 inches horizontally and not more than 24 inches vertically from the other surfaces. The use of cross braces as a means of access is prohibited. Never climb on a scaffold's cross bracing. Types of permitted access include ladders, stair towers, ramps and walkways, and integral prefabricated frames. Make sure you are properly trained on PPE and its use. Always use appropriate PPE and use it properly. Wear proper footwear for the worksite. Watch where you are walking. Pay attention and do not allow yourself to be distracted from the task at hand. Never rush through a task. Work at a normal pace. Carry fewer objects and make more trips. Get help moving large, heavy, or awkward-shaped items. Report all slip, trip, or fall accidents and near misses, even if no one was hurt. This will allow changes to be made to avoid the incident from reoccurring. Otherwise, someone might be injured if it happens again. If you must walk on wet or slippery surfaces, there are certain precautions you can take to prevent slipping and falling. Take slow, small steps and point your feet slightly outward to help provide a stable base of support. Pay attention to the walking surface. Use handrails or stable objects for support when available. Your arms and hands help stabilize you when walking. Do not walk with hands in your pockets. Avoid sharp turns and quick movements. Wear slip-resistant footwear. The purpose of this training program is to prevent falls, but should you fall, it is important to know how to fall to minimize injury. Tuck in your chin and turn your head. As you are falling, twist or roll your body to the side. It is safer to land on your buttocks or side than your back. Keep your wrist, elbow, and knees bent and protect your head with your arms. Land on as much of your body as possible to spread the impact of the forces across a larger area. Do not attempt to soften or break the fall with your hands. Fall protection must be provided for each employee on a walking, working surface with an unprotected side or edge at the height required by the OSHA standard applicable to their workplace. In the construction industry, this elevated height is generally considered to be 6 feet or more above a lower level, but it can vary depending upon the circumstances. It is important to know which OSHA regulation is applicable to your work environment and to provide fall protection when required. OSHA allows employers the flexibility to select and provide the fall protection they determine will be most effective in the particular workplace operation or situation to protect their workers and prevent injuries and fatalities from occurring. Employers can choose from several different fall protection options. A guardrail system, which consists of a barrier erected alongside an unprotected or exposed side, edge, or other area of a walking, working surface to prevent workers from falling to a lower level. A safety net system, which is a horizontal or semi-horizontal cantilever-style barrier that uses a netting system to stop falling workers before they make contact with a lower level or obstruction. Personal Fall Arrest System, or PFA, is a designed system that arrests a fall before a worker contacts a lower level. A PFA consists of a body harness, anchorage, and connector, and may include a lanyard, deceleration device, lifeline, or a suitable combination. The use of body belts as part of a personal fall arrest system is prohibited. Other options include a positioning system, travel restraint system, and ladder safety system. OSHA established fall protection requirements for many specific situations, such as hoist areas, runways, areas above dangerous equipment, wall openings, repair pits, and scaffolding, to name a few. Make sure you are using fall protection as mandated by OSHA. While employers have options to choose from concerning fall protection, in general, it is better to use fall prevention systems, such as guardrails, rather than fall protection systems, such as safety nets or fall arrest devices. If employees are exposed to falling objects, appropriate head protection must be provided and worn. In addition, employers must protect employees from falling objects by implementing one or more of the following safety measures. These measures include erecting toe boards, screens, or guardrail systems to prevent objects from falling to a lower level, erecting canopy structures to prevent workers from falling objects. It is also important to keep objects far enough from an edge, hole, or opening to prevent them from falling to a lower level, or barricading all areas into which objects could fall and prohibiting employees from entering the barricaded area. Before any worker is exposed to a fall hazard, OSHA mandates that employers must ensure workers who use personal fall protection and work in other specified high-hazard situations are trained as necessary about fall and equipment hazards, including fall protection systems. Training must be provided to each employee in a language and vocabulary that workers understand. Employees must be trained by a competent person to correctly be able to identify and minimize fall hazards, and in the proper use of personal fall protection systems and rope descent systems. Training must include maintenance, proper storage, and inspection of the fall protection system. Whenever there is a change in workplace operations or equipment, or the employer believes a worker would benefit from additional training based on a lack of knowledge or skill, then the worker must be retrained. Slips, trips, and falls continue to be a major problem in the workplace. Knowing the causes and the steps to prevent slips, trips, and falls will make you a better worker and a safer one.